Chapter 11 Kill All and Come Out. Lin Moyu saw clearly the owner of the branch, a big tree about 3 meters high. Lin Moyu's fingertips glowed slightly, and the detection technique was released. Detection is a skill that everyone knows, and it can obtain some basic information. Long whip tree level 8, introduction. Usually in a dormant state, it will attack passing life forms. Why didn't the skeleton warrior attack when it ran over just now? Skeleton warriors are not living beings and have no breath of life. So the skeleton warrior will not cause the whip tree to attack. And when he came in, the long whip tree attacked him. The whip tree continued to attack Lin Moyu. Although it will not cause any harm, Lin Moyu is not a fool. It is impossible to stand like this and let you hit him. Quickly retreated tens of meters, out of the attack range of the long whip tree. The long whip tree does not move, and it will not attack after Lin Moyu retreats. The long branches are constantly dancing, as if in vigilance. It's really well intentioned. Lin Moyu understood the good intentions of the dungeon designer. From low-level monsters that have been greatly weakened, to level 8 monsters with the same strength as the outside world. They also selected level 8 monsters, choosing such a plant-based monster that can sneak attack but can't move. The long whip tree has the characteristic of sneak attack, allowing novice professionals to experience the dangers of the wild early. The long whip tree cannot move, and there is no such thing as chasing and killing professionals. Once in danger, novice professionals can retreat calmly and get out of its attack range. Moreover, the attack range of the long whip tree is exactly the same as that of several long-range occupations. This also cuts off the possibility of remote career opportunism. It is designed so that novices can play against real level 8 monsters in a safe situation. The entire novice dungeon has the atmosphere of protecting novices and cultivating newcomers. In the case of reducing casualties as much as possible, let the newcomers adapt to actual combat and grow. The skeleton warrior ran back amidst bursts of toothache clicking. A total of 16 skeleton warriors guarded Lin Moyu like an army. With a thought of Lin Moyu, a skeleton warrior rushed towards the whip tree. To the non-living body like the skeleton warrior, the long whip tree didn't respond at all. It wasn't until the skeleton warrior made the first move and slashed at the tree with a big knife in his hand that the whip tree began to fight back. The huge branch was like a long whip whipped on the skeleton warrior, making a metal beating sound. The whip tree's attack speed was very fast, the branches danced like crazy, and 3 or 4 attacks landed on the skeleton warrior every second. But the attributes of the skeleton warrior are too high as 550 physique, super thick blood volume and defense. Some small cracks appeared in the attacked bones, but they quickly recovered. Didn't get killed in seconds. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. The monsters from level 1 to level 7 are all the result of a one-shot kill, but when it comes to level 8 monsters, the situation has changed. The skeleton warrior failed to instantly kill the target for the first time. Is this the strength of wild monsters? See how many knives you can withstand. 1 knife, 2 knife, 3 knife. After 4 cuts, long whip tree stopped all movements. Kill level 8 long whip tree, experience plus 160. Seeing the reminder, the experience is much more than that of the level 7 brown bear. Lin Moyu calculated that in terms of cost performance, it would be more cost-effective to kill level 7 monsters. After all, it's 1 knife and 70 experience points. The long whip tree at level 8 needs 4 knives and only 160 experience points. It looks high, but in fact, the single-handedly cost-effective price has fallen. However, we must also consider the problem of finding strange time. If you spend all your time looking for monsters, it would be uneconomical to find low-level monsters. Looking at the forest ahead, there are densely packed trees, most of which are level 8 long whip trees. As long as you look carefully, long whip trees can still be distinguished from ordinary trees. Here, don't look for blame. There are hundreds of them just as far as the eyes can see. In this way, the efficiency is greatly improved. This is simply a treasure land for leveling for him. Even Lin Moyu was a little excited at this time. With a thought, the skeleton warriors immediately separated and rushed towards various forests. The knives in their hands kept falling on the whip tree. 4 knives each, very straightforward. Experience started to soar again. Everyone else's upgrade speed is greatly reduced after level 5, but Lin Moyu was getting faster and faster. It was originally expected to take more than an hour to complete the upgrade. As a result, after only 50 minutes, Lin Moyu was promoted to level 6. Outside the dungeon, the sky gradually darkened. The time has come to 7 o'clock in the evening. It has been a full 10 hours since I entered the copy at 9 o'clock in the morning. Lu Yun, the principals, and Xiao Dongyang still did not move. They had already had tea for the day, and it was brought to them when they ate. Several principals are like this every year, and they will always guard the students on the first day they enter the novice dungeon. Although accidents are rare, there is no guarantee that there will be no accidents. Because it is actual combat, injuries are unavoidable, but there have also been cases where students died in novice dungeons. Xia Dongyang didn't leave either. Xia Shui was in the dungeon, so he, a father, was also worried. He missed his daughter's class transfer ceremony, and he didn't want to miss her daughter's first instance. The entrance of the dungeon suddenly emitted a brilliant light, and everyone looked up at the entrance of the dungeon at the same time. Someone came out. It's not time yet, so there must be an accident. There are 2 entrances and exits in the dungeon. One is in the deepest part of the dungeon, you can see it through the forest guarded by level 8 monsters. The other is where you enter the dungeon, and you can also exit the dungeon from here. Lin Moyu stepped out of the light. Lu Yun walked over quickly. Moyu, why did you come out? Lin Moyu said softly, if you kill them all, you will come out. Kill them all and come out. This made Lu Yun unable to understand for a while. Lin Moyu spoke too calmly, without even a little expression on his face. In the next second, Lu Yun saw Lin Moyu's level. Lin Moyu, Necromancer, level 7. Chapter 12. Breaking the highest record in history. Lu Yun was numb, with an expression of disbelief. You, level 7? The same is true in the tone. Lu Yun even suspected that he was wrong. Shock occupied the brain, and I couldn't react for a while. This is something that never happened. Previously the highest record was only level 5, but now Lin Moyu broke the dungeon directly at level 7. Just 10 hours. There are not enough monsters in it, otherwise it should be able to reach level 8. Ms. Lu, I want to apply to go to the suburbs of Shihai City. Lin Moyu took it for granted, and at the same time applied for leaving the city. No one thought that there would be a day when all the monsters in the dungeon would be killed. Every time you re-enter the instance, the monsters inside will also be reset. No one has ever been able to clear the entire dungeon of monsters within 12 hours. After all, this is a novice dungeon, and everyone who enters it is a novice. A novice professional with few skills, weak combat power, and no experience. Especially the deepest level 8 monsters, their strength is not low. It is really the same monster as in the wild. But Lin Moyu did it, and it only took less than 10 hours. Completely break the rules and break the record. Lu Yun thought a lot, but he just couldn't figure it out, and he was numb with shock. Teacher Lu? Seeing that Lu Yun didn't respond, Lin Moyu yelled again, and waved his hand in front of his eyes. After a while, Lu Yun finally came back to his senses, and repeatedly agreed, okay, I agree, and I will give you a proof of leaving the city. You take a rest first, and wait for the students to come out before sending you back. Lin Moyu proved his strength with practical actions and got the proof of going out of the city. His plan can also go smoothly. Lu Yun returned to the table, and the other principals looked at him curiously. Old Lu, what happened to you just now? Why did that classmate come out early? Is there something wrong? Yeah, he wasn't injured, right? Why did he come out alone? Where are his teammates? Lu Yun drank 3 cups of tea and took 2 deep breaths before speaking. He is Lin Moyu. He cleared the novice dungeon and killed all the level 8 monsters. Hiss. Several principals gasped.
Even Xia Dongyang, who was used to seeing strong winds and waves, was shocked at this moment. They noticed that Lin Moyu himself was level 7. Not to mention anything else, upgrading from level 1 to level 7 in 10 hours is already an incredible level up speed. What's more, it can kill all the level 8 monsters in the dungeon, which is enough to show how strong Lin Moyu's combat power is. The hidden profession is really powerful. Xia Dongyang sighed. It can only be explained in this way. Lin Moyu's career is very powerful. Based on this calculation, the necromancer profession should exceed the rare professions known so far, and can be completely comparable to legendary professions. I don't know how strong the legendary class is. After all, we have never seen it. But we have seen the rare class, and it is not so efficient. I just don't know if it will still be so strong after leveling up. Indeed, for example, the elemental mage awakened by Xia Shui this time is actually like this at the beginning, and it is not much different from other mage classes. But if you can get the passive skill of element enhancement, it will be comparable to a legendary profession. Several principles are experienced and experienced. I know that some careers are very strong at the beginning, but they start to weaken after they come up. There are also some professions that are not very good at the beginning, but become stronger and stronger after they come up. And it also depends on skills and talents, and there are huge differences between the same profession. In hundreds of occupations, there are all kinds of situations, and it is difficult to say in one word. Lu Yun glanced at Lin Moyu, who was meditating not far away, with some expectation in his heart. At least for now, Lin Moyu's necromancer profession is very powerful, and it seems that we will not be in charge of the future. It's true, if he can be admitted to Xia Jing Academy, then it's Xia Jing Academy's business. Xia Dongyang said, Xiao Xue has been competitive since she was a child, and I'm afraid she will be hit this time. Lu Yun couldn't help laughing. Not just this time, you are often away from home. In fact, in the past few years, Lin Moyu's grades have been surpassing Xia Xue's. Xia Xue has been the second child for 3 years. That's it. Xia Dongyang smiled wryly. Xia Xue never told himself. He understood his daughter's temper. The more he kept silent, the more angry he felt. Lin Moyu regained his spiritual power through meditation. At this time, the number of his skeleton warriors has reached 24, but there are 70 positions in the summoning space. The number of skeleton warriors only accounted for 1/3. It will take a lot of time for him to fill up the remaining positions. The time came to 9 o'clock in the evening. The 12-hour dungeon time was finally over, and the students who entered were teleported out one by one. After a 12-hour battle, many students were tired, but more excited. The feeling brought by actual combat is completely different from learning in books. Many people were stained with blood, and there was a strong smell of blood. A gust of wind blew, and a teacher released his skills to dispel the smell of blood. The tutors of each school acted quickly, gathered their students together, and counted the number of students. Checked to see if anyone is injured and needs medical treatment. After some busy work, the result is not bad. Everyone is intact. Most of the people have been promoted to level 3, and a few powerful ones have reached level 4. Xia Shui was also excited. After a day of fighting, she has reached level 5, tying the highest record for a novice dungeon. I will definitely not lose this time. The highest record is level 5, and I have already tied the highest record. Where did that guy go? After coming out, I didn't see Lin Moyu. After looking around, I saw Lin Moyu meditating in the distance. When did he come out? Then her eyes widened, and she froze in place as if she had been electrocuted, and her whole body was numb. How is it possible? How did he reach level 7?